Hong Kong Direct is your weekly racing roundup full of news, views, previews, interviews and special guests. And coming up today on a big show as we head into Sa Ladies Purse Day, he's back. Exultant, last year's Horse of the Year. Can he make it third time lucky in the Ladies Purse? He'll have to meet Southern Legend, who won the race last year, beating Time Warp as well, and he finished in front of him last time out. And Southern Legend, trained by Casper Fowles, also has Dances with Dragon in the field. And we'll look ahead to the HKIR entries as the free entry stage has closed, and some big names on that list as well. And a big name joins me as well here in the studio. Great to have you back, Graham Cunningham, as a Hong Kong Direct regular. Before we get on to HKIR and the rest of it, we might have actually seen maybe a chance of heading that way on Wednesday night at Happy Valley as Casper Fowles and Joe Moreira continued on their merry way.
Yeah, a fringe contender for the big middle distance races at the moment, Andrew, but Columbus County, like so many Fowles horses this season, has come back a much sharper, improved model, and he was already pretty good. He made some smart handicap rivals look very one-paced when he quickened in the final furlong in the nightcap at Happy Valley. Big night for Joe Moreira, 4 winners. Big night for Casper Fowles, 2 of them, both ridden by Joe Moreira. And a clear theme emerging. Joe now 10 clear of Zach Purton at the top of the jockeys table. I think Casper is 6 clear of his rivals in the trainers list. And that link, Andrew, that link between Joe and Casper, they've had 10 winners together this season. By contrast, Zach has only had 1 winner for Casper Fowles, and I don't think he's had a ride for Casper since about September the 23rd. In short, that relationship has gone cool. These things go in cycles in Hong Kong, but that relationship needs to warm up again if Zach, for the 3rd time, is going to run down Joe, having been double digits behind. Dangerous to ride off Zach just yet. I think a lot of water to go under the bridge between now and the end of the season. All right, let's get into the main event then. The Sa Ladies Purse is race number 8, Group 3, 1,800 metres is the trip. Exultant, last year's Horse of the Year, is back. Zach Purton from Barrier 7, Southern Legend, won this race last year, running down Time Warp in the closing stages. Casper Fowles double represented here. He's got Dances with Dragon with Keith Young in the saddle. Shafano was a good run behind Golden 60 last time out. Singapore Sling was good first up after a long break last time as well for the Tony Millard stable. Ho Ho Khan, assume, heading towards the Vazan International Day, and Savvy 9 and Super Oasis who finished behind the excellent proposal on their last starts as well. Now, we'll hear from Zach Purton very shortly about the returning champ. First, though, let's get the owner's perspective with Kirk Wong representing his parents.
My first words to describe Exultant would be pride. Certainly, it's not so much just the winning. Obviously, Group 1s are just gives us a feeling of ecstasy. But it's more the pride of how this horse has developed since he's been in Hong Kong. People look at the Group 1s, people look at the close races, but a lot of people don't realize he's actually never been outside of the prize money. And to me, after all those races, some very difficult ones, I have nothing but pride for that horse.
Exultant, he's out on his feet, but he still leads a length. Shafano, Furore, they're trying to get him. Exultant kicking over Shafano, Furore, Exultant in front. It's the high 5 of Group 1's Exultant.
For me, and I've also asked Zach about this and Tony about this from time to time, I think his level of determination, his what I call grit, is spectacular.
It's Exultant and Lee's Crusher, clear from Azira, then Pakistan, Star and Eagle Way. Exultant and Lee's Crusher, a real cliffhanger in the bars. Exultant fights back and wins for Hong Kong.
So for me, that was a true sign that the horse had a lot of determination. He may not be the most talented, he may not be the fastest, but that sort of determination and grit really, to me, it really shows through on this horse. Tony CRUZ is such a good fit for this horse because he is, to me, one of the best trainers in the world. He can understand each horse and what the horse needs. And and the results speak for themselves. It's been 2 years now that Exultant has been racing at his top level, and every time he goes out, he's ready to go. He's always in top form. He's always close, and that's really, to me, a sign of not only the horse's consistency, but really the trainer's ability to maintain a horse at a very high level. Zach is a really good fit for Exultant because I think he's a master strategist, especially on the race course. His race management is incredible. Because Exultant is the horse that sort of needs some managing on the course in terms of where he's positioned during the race, when he has to go.
It's Exultant with 150 to go. Furore 2 lengths away, but running around a bit. Exultant leads. Furore still a length to make up. Then Eagle Way. It's QE2 redemption for Exultant.
Exultant has been in 4th and 3rd in previous SASA iterations, SASA Ladies First iterations. Look, he's always going to be on the top weight when he races these races, and based on trial, and I've asked Zach this, and he says Exultant is what he describes as a dude, where he doesn't really show much, he doesn't do much, but based on what Zach has felt through the trials, he said the horse is healthy, the horse is happy, so that's basically the best indication that he could give me. He's now 6 years old, turning 7 in January. So as long as he's healthy, we're sure he'll come close at least.
Lovely piece there with Kirk Wong, Graham. Where do you think he sits as far as this weekend is concerned? We know the quality of him over further, and there's targets down the track as well. But what about Sunday?
In terms of this weekend, there's one quote that sticks in my mind very strongly. It's from Tony CRUZ. And he said, this is just a lead up to the trial day. So it's about mindset, it's about building blocks for a potentially long Group 1 season ahead. But he's a hell of a good horse, Exultant. He's Horse of the Year in Hong Kong. He's a dual champion middle distance stayer. And bizarrely, he's still slightly underappreciated. He doesn't do it on flash or brilliant speed. He does it on courage, guts and endurance. And a horse like this, he spends 2 years toiling successfully and really honestly in the shadow of Beauty Generation. And then here comes Golden 60, swaggering to town with his great turn of foot and his 22-second closers. So he's never quite been the sexy horse in some people's minds, but his CV is tremendous. And anyone thinking of feeling sorry for the Wong family, he's picked up in excess of $73 million in prize money and counting.
Yeah, it's not a bad effort. And you touched on the point there of his heart and his courage as well. So in that respect, even if he might, the big targets are down the road, he doesn't know not how to run a good race. He'll put everything into it. That much we do know. Yeah,
you can see it in his body language. He bows his head low, and once he does that, he really runs home powerfully. He can be a hostage to tactics sometimes, but I wouldn't just go down the line if he can't win over 1,800 metres. He's got 2 really impressive, huge weight-carrying wins in the Centenary Vase over 1,800 metres, but it is worth pointing out that race comes when he's hard fit in January rather than when he's on the launch pad on the 1st of November.
All right, well, let's hear from the man who'll be on his back, and arguably man who knows him best as well. Big race jockey, Zach Purton.
I've given up trying to assess him off his trials. I just roll him around and let him have a stretch of the legs, and that's all he's out there for, really. As we know, he doesn't take any part, and he hasn't been taking any part, but it doesn't concern me. He's been like that for quite some time now. It's when they come out and do something different that you start to worry. So we'll go to the races knowing that he's in a good place, but he's going to improve off it. Distance is okay for him, but having to carry the big weight against these horses at this stage of his prep is not easy. Just like him to hit the line and show us that he can be a player again in December.
Ran 3rd in this race last year with the big weight as well too, and when the tempo didn't necessarily suit him. On class against this sort of opposition, could he win first up?
It depends how the races run. Last year he drew barrier 1, so that allowed him just to jump and get into a nice spot without having to do any work. He's drawn an awkward gate this year, and against a lot of horses that are really well rated with light weight, so he's up against it. let's just see how he begins, gets himself out of the gate. He'll tell me where he wants to be.
Barrier 7 is the gate for Exultant then on Sunday, and we'll see how he fares as well. So plenty more to discuss as far as Exultant's concerned, and the rest of the field as well as we come back after this. And we'll be looking ahead as well in part 2 of the show to the entries for HKIR.
HKJC.com is an essential tool in my race day preparation. Whether you want
racing news,
Horse profile,
Chakra, Speed Pro, race replay, HKJC.com, bringing Hong Kong racing close to you.
It was brief, Graham, but we got a little run in that promo as well.
We did. Very nicely scripted, I must say. And Joe Moreira, when you've got to voice a jockey club demo at 9 and be on the turntable at Pasha and Ibiza as a DJ at 10. Fantastic payoff from Joe there.
Absolutely. Multi-talented Joe Moreira. We'll keep moving then into the Sa Ladies Purse, our feature race on the weekend. We've talked about Exultant. What about last year's winner in Southern Legend? Casper Fownes also has Dances with Dragon, who said has been aimed at this race directly.
Yeah, two real aces in the pack, I think, here. This is a key galloping clue. It has been in the past for this race. Golden 60, way too good for all of them. But in the yellow colours, Southern Legend runs an absolute screamer. He won this race 12 months ago, and towards the right of the picture, staying on strongly for 5th, really strongly. A very strong closing sectional for Dances with Dragon. I think half a length between these two at the line, but have a look at Dances with Dragon, finishing strongly. Extra 200 metres this weekend, lightweight, Keith Young, he's been targeted at the race. Southern Legend is a strong contender, but I do sense that Casper thinks Dances with Dragon might be the stronger member of his duo, and I think he's right.
And it was an extraordinary win for Dances with Dragon over course and distance at the back end of last season, with Southern Legend behind him as well. But Southern Legend is a bit better off at the weight, £8 with him when they meet again on Sunday. What about a horse like Savvy 9, Graham? He looked very progressive for John Moore last season and has run well in defeat, it must be said, behind one of our leading 4-year-olds in Excellent Proposal so far this campaign. Yeah,
he's done that twice. Excellent Proposal clearly ahead of the handicapper. Question is Savvy 9 ahead of the handicapper? He needs to be. Here we see him trialling pretty well. He's banging form. He's a useful horse. The conditions are no problem. But the Hong Kong handicappers think he's earned a rating of 98. And because Exultant heads the parade here, he has to race off a mark of 109. In short, he needs a career best by a good margin. Caris Teeton takes the ride, and he rode Southern Legend last time. That's interesting, but only a clear personal best will do if Savvy 9 is going to shine on Sunday.
And we saw Ho Ho Khan towards the back of that trial as well. Dangerous to write him off, possibly. He's a 3-time course and distance winner.
He is, but I suspect he's at his very best over a slightly longer trip. Both he and Butterfield will be behind Savvy 9 in that Excellent Proposal race. Of the trio, I suspect Savvy 9 might be the one, but 4 or 5 of these are out of the weights to major or minor degrees. All right,
Ho Ho Khan trained by David Hall. Let's go to David Hayes, who's double-handed in the race. He's got Dark Dream and Shafano.
David, 2 runners in the ladies' purse coming up on Sunday. Shafano, were you happy with the way he finished off last time out?
I thought at a mile in that class you couldn't have asked for a better run by him. He's been trained to peak in December, but it wouldn't surprise me from the awkward gate if he ran a good competitive race. I think it's probably the best start in Hong Kong, the 1800, so Chadwick should be able to get a nice position, and he'll run a good race.
How's he done since then?
I would say improved a little bit.
And you say you're targeting December with him. Specifically, what race have you got in mind for him?
The 1.5 miles. So he'll probably run the 2,000 in 3 weeks and then into the 1.5 miles.
And what about Dark Dream having his first run for you?
His trial at Happy Valley was excellent. He's a lazy horse, so hard to get a bit of a guide, but off of the trial, I think he'll run okay and he'll get better as it goes on.
We'll jump from barrier 2, Graham. Dark Dream still get some sort of opportunity. Do you rate either of the Hayes runners?
I think Dark Dream might shine again one day if we get a real deluge before the races. That doesn't happen very often. As regards Schifano, I get the case for him. He's right on the bubble. He is a 109 rated horse, able to race off that mark. But Exultant is rated £20 higher at the moment. If Schifano's going to make a mark in December, he better make a mark this weekend. I suspect 1800 is just on the short side, but I'd certainly have him in my numbers. I thought he ran really well last time, and the slightly longer trip is a plus.
One horse I find quite hard to tip, but I am a fully paid up member of the fan club, is Time Warp. Now, he won this race, and his other two runnings, he's run second, so we can't write him off, but he is all or nothing, basically.
He is the most mercurial, enigmatic Group 1 horse I think I've ever seen over a lengthy period. He can win Group 1 races, as he's shown for several seasons. He can finish tailed off. He's had a short preparation this time, and this trial didn't really knock your eye out as one of a horse who's likely to win a big race. 2-1-2 in this race in the last 3 years. He's got a great record in it, but I don't think his preparation after an injury and a trip to Chung Fa has been quite so smooth as in previous years.
He might be out in front, though, for a fair way with Derek Long in this saddle. Any other horses we need to mention? Fiore, Joe Moreira jumps on board him, and Singapore Sling as well?
Yeah, Fiore is the one I think we should mention for a couple of reasons. Yes, he's 0 from 12 since his Derby win a couple of years ago, but he has got some Group 1 form in and around Exultant at level weights that gives him a good chance. The significant thing, I think, is Joe Moreira jumps aboard for the first time. That can have a galvanising effect. You wouldn't go mad about his reappearance performance, but he's up in trip and Joe's on for the first time.
So where does the Cunningham cash go? We've got some genuine Group 1 horses, but this is a handicap, which levels it up a little bit.
Yeah, dying to see Exultant, and I'm sure he'll be in the mix. What will the market make of Exultant based on trainer quotes, etc.? But I think the one for Sunday is Dances with Dragon. He's 3-1 down in the last 4 meetings against his stablemate Southern Legend, but the one was a real eye-catching win in that Premier Plate. You touched on it. It was eye-catching again last time. I think everything is perfect for a big run. Good on Keith Young. He's having a really good spell. This is a chance to put his name in lights again on Dances with Dragon.
Yeah, what a big race on Wednesday night as well, Keith, for Douglas. Well, I think Schifano will run a good race as well, but I'm probably with you with Dances with Dragon there. All right, looking ahead to Sunday and beyond as well, the Sa Ladies Purse is our feature race for race number 8, 4:40 locally. Sha Tin, though, again Wednesday night for an all-weather meeting as Happy Valley takes a break, because we're heading down to the city on Sunday for our one and only day meeting there at Happy Valley throughout this season, but it's always a good one. So Sunday the 8th, we're back at Happy Valley there. Right, we're going to talk about HKIR now, and if you want to get a head start on that, then head to the website and you'll find a campaign site as well within the main site itself, which will get you up to speed with all the news. There's videos, different events that are coming up. Of course, we've got Jockey Club Day coming up at the end of November, so that is the final major domestic trials. And the final pieces of the local puzzle will probably fall into place there. So that's all available on the website. But of course, speaking of the races themselves, Graham, the free entries have closed. Lots of big names on there. But who do we think realistically might be coming?
Impossible to say at the moment. 61 Group 1 winners entered, which is encouraging. But I think even in a normal year, the plot of this particular whodunit only really unravels in the last couple of weeks before the races themselves. This is no normal year. This is a pandemic year, so anyone's guess as to exactly what nature of fields we'll have, but there is scope for pleasant surprises from Japan, from Europe, etc. So let's hope that horses like Magical can shine at the Breeders' Cup and maybe come on here, just like Highland Reel did. Almond Eye and some very good Japanese horses do battle in the Tenno Show Autumn this weekend. The stars are all entered. What we need now is for them to shine in the next few weeks and then roll on to Hong Kong in December.
Absolutely. I've heard positive reports about Armory, runner-up in the Cox Plate, possibly heading in this direction as well after one more start in Australia. Of the local side of things, of course, we're excited to have Classic Legend now be running under the Hong Kong banner for Casper Founds in the sprint. And Beauty Generation maybe surprised a few with an entry into the 1200-metre Group 1 as well.
Yeah, that is a surprise. I'd be really shocked if he took up that entry. Golden 60 is clearly the poster boy of the mile division at the moment. But we're going to get a chance to see all the Hong Kong stars again on that trials day. It's always a hugely informative day. So mid-November, series of big Group 2s. We'll see Golden 60. We'll see Exultant. We'll see all the top Hong Kong horses. And by the time those trials are done and dusted, we'll start to get a clear idea of how those 4 big Group 1s all shake up.
Just on Golden 60 as well, what's your gut feel about which way they'll go? The mile would seem to be the obvious target at this stage.
Yeah, I'd be staggered if they went in any other direction. They do have the option to go up to 2,000 metres, and we know he stays that distance because of the Derby. But I think he's been trained with the mile very much in mind. It looks like he might have Beauty Generation's number at the moment. But last year's mile winner, Admire Mars, is entered. Lots of cards to play. But at the moment, Golden 60 looks one of the aces in the Hong Kong pack. All
right, excellent stuff. Thanks as always, Graham, and enjoy the action on Sunday.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right, we're going to leave you this week with Exultant, going back to his Vase win of 2018. As it turned out, it was a pretty special race as well, with Lys Gracieux went on to win a Cox Plate and Volgeist went on to win an Arc as well. So enjoy this. We'll see you again on Sunday, bringing all the action from Hong Kong direct to you.
They've gone to the 900 metres, and CRUZ had a soft run in the Vase. Leads by 3/4 to Exultant. Ribbon stalking third. Azira's had a lovely run. Pakistan Star. Salawan creeping closer as the speed starts to lift, and then Red third and Rostropovich. Volgeist is locked in on the rail. He's going to need some luck and some room to move. The Trove next. Then came Lys Gracieux. She's peeling to the outside and starting to wind up as they approach the bend. Mirage Dancer onto her back, and then Eagle Way. A Prince of Arran. Krokosmia cornered in front from Exultant. There's naught between them. Azira, Salawan, Ribbon. Here comes Lys Gracieux. Pakistan Star. Then Rostropovich further back to Eagle Way. Latrobe. Followed then by Prince of Arran. Lys Gracieux raced up to Exultant. It's Exultant and Lys Gracieux. Clear from Azira. Then Pakistan Star and Eagle Way. Exultant and Lys Gracieux, a real cliffhanger in the Vase. Exultant fights back and wins for Hong Kong.